Hey, what's going on? It's Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. Today I want to talk about recording pickups. I'm pretty sure I did a recording on this a little while back, but it's been a little while, so I thought it'd be good to revisit it because it's so important for those of us who work, especially on a full-time basis. This is a big part of what we do. You do a project, there are amendments, there are, slight changes and edits, or sometimes we even make a mistake. We need to go back and correct it. And whether you're doing this on a full-time basis or not, you'll get these. But my point in saying that was that when you're behind a microphone, 5, 6, 7 hours a day, you're working on a lot of projects. You're going to get a lot of these. So understanding how to do them and how to make them fit seamlessly and unnoticeably within the original project because you're recording it sometimes days, weeks, months, maybe even a year or two later. I was recently working on some projects that were for 2020 open enrollment for some companies, and the company I recorded them for needed me just to record. There are a few line changes to make it for 2021, and so I didn't need to they didn't want me to re-record the whole thing, just the edits. So, making that fit a year later can be a bit tricky unless you understand, what you're listening for and how to do it. Which brings me to the topic or the reason for us being here today in this video. So I've recorded just a few lines from a script, and let me just play it for you. This is just, I think it's a little training script, I think. As a systems integrator, we understand the physical reality as much as its digital adjunct. We listen and look after your best interests, whether you are just starting your digital journey or already have parts of a digital infrastructure in place. And we do this across the whole life cycle of your asset or portfolio. Okay, well, it's not e-learning. It was a project I recorded for a client that's it's more of a corporate promotional piece. So let's imagine that the client comes back and says, okay, Bill, it's fine, except our editors, they've changed it. They've changed a line. So instead of saying, we listen and look after your best interests, we want it to say simply, let's say we have your best interests at heart. Okay, they may not write that. I'm not saying that's good writing. I'm just, for the sake of our illustration here, or example, we have your best interests at heart, whether you are just starting your digital journey. Okay, and so the trick here is let's see if we can just record this phrase right here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take this out. Let me, I don't want the ruler. What I want is the ribbon. So I can highlight it. There we go. So the old line is in yellow. The new line is in green. Okay, just to make it a little bit easier. We listen and look after your best interests, whether you are just starting your digital journey or already have parts of. Okay, what I like to do first of all is I want to read along with the original recording until I want to be able to hear that I'm in sync in terms of pacing, in terms of energy level, in terms of proximity to the mic, because even if I'm an inch closer or an inch further away, I'm going to be able to hear that. There's a proximity effect, and I'll be able to hear the tonal difference. And so the best way for me to do that is just to read along. As a matter of fact, I'll put it on a loop here. So I don't know that I'll need it, but let's just try that. As a systems integrator, we understand the physical reality as much as its digital adjunct. We listen and look after your best interests, whether you are just starting your digital journey or already have parts of a digital infrastructure in place. And we do this across the whole life cycle of your asset or portfolio. Let's try that again. As a systems integrator, we understand the physical reality as much as its digital adjunct. We listen and look after your best interests, whether you are just starting your digital journey or already have parts of a digital infrastructure in place. And we do this across the whole life cycle of your asset or portfolio. Okay, now I'm starting to feel it. We listen and look after your best interests, whether you are. What I do, I go right into the recording. I'm just going to just hit record right around the place where I want to edit it. We listen and look after your best interests. Now, let me read into this. As a systems integrator, we understand the physical reality as much as its digital adjunct. We have your best interests at heart. Okay, so that's the new line. We have your best interests at heart. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to right click and hit copy, and I'm doing this in Adobe Audition. And then I'm going to hit Control Z to undo the recording. So now it's back to its original recording. We listen and look after your best interests. Okay, that's the line. Now I'm going to select that line, and I'm going to, let's see here, Control V, paste, and there's my new line. Now, if you look at that, you can see that it doesn't quite, the levels aren't exactly the same. So I'm just going to manually bump that up till it looks about the same as the others. What's more important, right now I'm starting with how it looks. What's more important is how it sounds. So let's take a listen. We understand the physical reality as much as its digital adjunct. We have your best interests at heart, whether you are just starting your digital journey or already have. Yeah, I like that. We have your best. Except I'm going to tighten it up a little bit between the phrase. We have your best interests at heart, whether you are just starting your digital journey or already have parts of a digital. Good. So the pacing was right. The energy was right. My proximity to the mic was right. Tonally, it sounded identical. The only thing that was different was that the level was down just a wee bit. So all I did was I just manually increased it till it looked like it was right. But then I listened and it sounded right. So sometimes if I look at it, I'll need to even, maybe it needs to look like maybe the sound waves need to be a little less or higher. But as long as it sounds the same, that's what you want ultimately. So that's making it look the same is just a starting point. You want it to sound the same. And so once again, let's just back it up here. And remember, this is where, that's the new edit right there. As much as its digital adjunct. We have your best interests at heart, whether you are just starting your digital journey. So that's how I do it. And again, I'm doing it in Adobe Audition. You can use the same, you could do it in your DAW, but I just wanted to make sure you understood that this is the DAW that I'm using. So I hope that helps you in becoming a good editor in regards to recording pickups so that you can quickly and efficiently give the client what they want so that it sounds perfect, but that you don't have to spend needless time and energy. Because again, the more work you get, the more of these you get, and you don't want to spend half your day, recording and creating pickups. All right, guys, take care, and we'll talk soon.